Assalamualaikum. My name is Muhammad bin OTHMAN and this is our group member Muhammad IMANULFIRDAUS bin Muhammad NASIR, Muhammad HAZIM bin Muhammad ZAINI. And for our network management system Miniproject, we'll be using AVIC, network management software and tools. For introduction, AVIC is cloud-based network management software. AVIC is network monitoring that helps to ensure that the network systems are running smoothly and that no outage occur. Network monitoring is important to increase the efficiency of network by knowing bandwidth and resource consumption. AVIC can show network visibility and documentation software that may complete your network picture in minutes with automated mapping, inventory, and documentation. AVIC can show wire tracing, port mapping, and reverse engineering network connection based on VLAN or IP assignment are over. AVIC automate network discovery to give you a complete network visibility and control and keeps all your information up to date. AVIC know exactly what's on the network and how it's all connected in real time. AVIC pull data from source like CDP, LLDP and forwarding table to meticulously model the layer 1 network diagram, layer 2 and 3 and build from ARP tables, IP assignment and VLAN association to show you exactly what's on the network, where it is and how it's connected. We can get a full detail of for every device on the network and automate inventory. Use network protocol to detect and capture full detail for every device on the network, including makes and model, serial number, IP address, and the physical switch port the device is connected to. Our VICs easily identify devices that need to be upgraded or replaced. If one device malfunction, we pull life cycle data from supported device to show you whether they are on current or expired support contract and give a solution whether you can opt to date software version if available, if devices are eligible to refuse a critical security update, and if devices are still available for purchase. There are many features that can show how we can monitoring and simply network performance monitoring. AVICs provide automate configuration and backup and recovery. So for the objective, we want to design a network with 3 to 10 network components. Second, to test the network that have been designed and complement. And third, to implement integration of the main features. Fourth, to implement functional FCAP, which is F for fault management, C, configuration management, A, accounting management, P, performance management, and lastly, security management of network management. And lastly, to troubleshoot the network if there is any problem occur.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad IMANULFIRDAUS, and for my part in this mini project, I'm going to showcase AVIC's FCAPs. So what is FCAPs? FCAPs is an acronym for fault management, configuration management, accounting management, performance management, and security management. So FCAPs is a model that determines a framework for proactive network management. So it is used to help network operators and service providers to easily understand the way network management and monitoring system work and perform. And it also can assist network professionals when evaluating network management system tools, capacities, and functions. So first is fault management. So fault management consists of detecting problems or faults in the network. It's not a simple process. It is a set of practices like fault detection, isolation, correlation, and resolution. So the idea here is to avoid long outages, network downtime, and even worst case scenarios. So once network operators detect the alarm, a notification system comes into play in order to report the problem to a team in charge of resolution. Subsequent analysis is fundamental to implement improvements and identify behaviors, trends, correlations, etc. this is the demo for OVIC. Obviously, since OVIC is not tailored for students, so it only gives you, it won't provide you with the free trial version. It only gives you this demo sandbox for students. So if you wanna if you wanna use the trial version, you need to have credentials which our students does not have. So we just have to make do with the sandbox. So for fault management, we can go to admin and manage alerts. So in OVIC, there are 4 tiers of severity. So the least severe is informational, which is for informational users alerts, like to inform the operators of certain cases for any or all devices and networks. So the second is warning. The third one is critical, and the last one is emergency. So emergency is the most severe of all the alerts. So for security fault management, you need to have a robust alerts in order to detect and forecast all of the possible worst outcomes that would possibly happen to your site or your network. So since this is just a sandbox and a demo, you can't add alert, but for OVIC you can add alert for network device interface, service components, and collectors, and you can customize it to your needs, like for example, the severity of the alerts, the alert name, the alert trigger descriptions, the trigger conditions, the triggers before pausing the entire network, of course, the pause length, and the custom settings. So if you use default, it will not be highlighted. If you customize it, it will be customized. So the status, if whether or not the alert is enabled or disabled. So there is a plethora of trigger condition. For example, this one is, it does not have any trigger condition. So if it's just a possible power outage, it will just trigger itself without any trigger condition. So the admin status, so you can customize to your needs. Configuration management. So configuration management is to ensure the proper functioning of a network. It is of utmost importance to have its devices properly configured, and this is a continuous process as networks grow and evolve. Obviously, network configuration management requires one to accurately execute, track, and store network devices configuration changes, circuits, and or path provisioning, as well as to ensure a seamless expansion. So if you take a look at OVIC, you can go to inventory, and you can go to devices, interfaces, services, cloud controllers, components, what have you, in interface as well. And for all of this, actually you can actually add these, for example, the service, the debug. Oh, actually it's in this discovery, sorry, my mistake there. So obviously, because I don't have credential, because it's just a sandbox, you can use this to monitor your network and make suitable changes for any of your devices or hardwares in your network. So if you manage device, of course you can edit, delete, manage, and unmanage your devices. You can also do it for networks, and also for credentials. You can add SNMP credentials, login credentials, WMI credentials, VMware, API and device API credentials. And the discovery settings is for settings pertaining the discovery, monitoring, health, which is for security, which we'll talk about later, and service settings, which is for accounting and performing related field. So the next one is accounting management. So accounting management is also known as billing management. It is a FCAPS level that brings you network usage data and parameters, as well as a comprehensive network inventory. So as I mentioned just now, inventory, you can go to your inventory, and for accounting there are two methods, I should say, which is crediting and metering. So both of these are to ensure that you as a network operator be able to see the necessary data so that you can either you use it for metering or for charging purposes to users that uses your network. So we're gonna skip the device usage, the utilization, and only focus on internet connection in this particular instance. So for this particular network, we have two connections that's been used. So in this case, you can see the necessary bandwidth. So we can change it to whichever timeline that you want. You can also custom range the timeline that you want to see. So in this case, I put the range for last month. So it is for 1st of July until 31st of July. So as you can see here, this is the bandwidth information for this related network for the past month, starting from 1st of July until the end of July. So this is the negotiated speed, which is 1 gigabit per second. And as you can see, the interface utilization for the transmit, it doesn't use much. You can see the average transmit is only 0.01%, and the average receive is 0.00%, which is almost not been used at all. And for the interface bandwidth, it doesn't even cap the negotiated speed, which is 1 gigabit per second. The highest should be this one, which is 156 megabits per second. So this is the average bandwidth for this particular network, the average transmit and the average receive. This is the interface packets, the broadcast, multicast, and unicast per second that it sent and or received, and there is no packet loss here. Now for performance management. So performance management provides real-time and historical network performance information, as well as helping network operators ensure that the network is running as expected. So the network performance aims to guarantee efficient network functioning by means of monitoring several parameters such as circuit performance, through input and output, or simply throughput, percentage utilization, error seconds, and among others. So this way you are provided with statistics data that can be used to improve your fault management processes, network performance, and behavior, as well as meet SLA requirements. So in this case, this is when we can take a look at the top device usages. We can also look at the internet connections, which obviously utilize and use the network. So in this case, when you take a look into the network, you can look into the inventory and see which network uses it, which in this case is this particular network. You can see the number of devices that uses it, and when you click on it, you can see switch 10 and firewall 2 uses the network, and you can see individual usage and individual utilization in terms of transmit and receive. and the interface name that particular device uses. Um, this the overall device usage, top device usage. So this is the highest. This in descending order, you can see device usage in terms of network, and this is top device utilization in terms of CPU, memory, and storage. So this all can be used to make better alerts in the future. So for component statuses, as you can see here, Orbit will automatically monitor component health of specific devices, and Orbit does not recognize any VMware component status for this site because this is just a demo. But if you create your own network, you can customize this VMware components and statuses like the health of each and particular and any of the particular devices. So as letting of it artificial intelligence to automatically monitor component health of any specific devices. Security management. So security management is a complex level aiming to protect the network against cybersecurity threats and attacks. So this involves practices such as network assets and consumption control, access management, and unauthorized access monitoring, log activity control, endpoint protection, user permission management, etc. So security management is pretty robust. So you can first look at the hardware lifecycle. For there are three tabs here. So first is vendor suggested software. So for each make and model, it has its own current software version and its vendor suggested software version. So as you can see here, the software version is more latest than the current one, so you need to update it to vendor suggested software version, and this is the current firmware version for each and every single one of the make and model. So for the vendor device life cycle information for each particular make and model, you can see its serial number, whether it has it or not. In this case, the controller doesn't have any serial number. You can see the sales availability when the make and model was available for sale, its last software maintenance, its last security software maintenance, whether it have it or not, and its last support for software maintenance. And for device contract information, you can see for each make and model, again the serial number, and this time this service coverage, whether it is covered or it is expired, warranty coverage, service attachments, and contract renewal. And also you can see for the debug if there's any thing out of ordinary logs, which is for this particular month. There are for last month, I should say, for audit period, there are none as well. So that's all from me for FCAPS for Orbit. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum and hi. My name is HAZIM bin Muhammad ZAINI. So for my part, I will talk about the discussion. Network are the set of computer which share resource located on or provided by the network node. So to design network, the first step is start with identifying technical requirement and continue until just before the network implementation stage. So network designs includes things like network analysis, IP address, highway selection, and implementation planning. In simple network like small office, the design is straightforward process. But in the large enterprise, enable design process is often very complex and involve multiple stakeholders. So simple network management protocol, which is known as SNMP, is a networking protocol used for the management and monitor the network connected device in Internet Protocol network. The SNMP protocol is used in multiple local devices such as router, switch, server, firewall, and wireless access point accessible using your IP address. SNMP act as a middle layer between management application and script on one side, and configuration setting and operation parameter on the other side. So SNMP provide a common mechanism for network device to send management information, meaning single and multiple panel lines for one environment. It is an application layer protocol in the OSI modern framework. Okay, as you know, in Windows 10, the SMT service is available as separated Windows feature, and it is not installed by the default. So that's all for me. Thank you.